Yes, so still in Nigeria, one of the very big fintechs in the country, OPay, the CEO, OPay Nigeria CEO, recently stepped down as CEO to pursue other things. Yeah, in his announcement on Twitter, he said it is the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. His name is Olu Akomu. Yeah, I think Olu Akomu I think he has been CEO for up to 2 years. In that time, I think OPay they really achieved a lot. I mean, OPay, to me, OPay is one of those fintechs that, well, they have a lot of venture backing. I mean, when it comes to money, they've received a lot of that. But during the time Olu Akomu was CEO, a lot of interesting things happened. I mean, if you look at as of the end of 2022, December 2022, OPay had like the largest agency banking network in Nigeria, over 500,000 agents in the country. So now he's stepping down. Is there something up at OPay? Do we know what he's going to do next?
So I don't know if people are interested in what he's going to do next.
Okay.
Really, a lot of people in the tech ecosystem probably didn't know him before he became CEO. Most of his experience has come from the banking sector, communications, FMCG, right? So it's not like a lot of people knew him. So I don't know how everybody's interested in what he does next. But yes, I guess it's significant news. He's stepping down, especially when he is stepping down. So OPay just celebrated 5 years.
Yes.
Did a little rebrand as well. And this is coming off the back of news that users have grown significantly in the last few years. And the agent network too has also grown significantly, right? So it's like you're bowing out on a high. And it's easy for you to start wondering, is there anything happening that we don't know about? Is everything okay at OPay? Right. So yes, it's easy to wonder, but really, yes, we can't really say if anything is happening. But one thing we can say is that he has had a huge impact on OPay's success to date.
Yeah, but I think another thing I find interesting about his stepping down is also, I think we are noticing a pattern of C-level guys at the company stepping down. I think in 2022 we had the CTO Olani Alao step down. We also had, I think this same year we had others, right? A former compliance officer also stepped down, right? This same year. I think about 3 people in the last 2 or 3 years. I think that's just something to. Most times it might be nothing. Most times it's something, or sometimes it might just.
I don't know about most times and sometimes, but really it could be. It could be nothing really. People move around a lot, and if you are being honest, in Nigeria's tech ecosystem, right? People move around a lot.
Yeah.
1 minute you hear someone is here, the next day you're hearing that the person is no longer there. So it's not much of a. There's probably nothing to it, but there could also be something to it. And then they're also leaving to other fintechs. A lot of them I have seen are leaving to other. I think one person moved to MoneyPoint, the other to Flutterwave, right? So don't also forget, these are like 2 of the largest fintechs on the continent or in the country. So they could be attracted to the big possibilities of that these other fintechs have, right? So it's it could just be you seeking a new challenge. It could be you wanting to start afresh or something like that, or it could be signs of something else that we do not know. But yes, all the best to OPay as the
all the best to OPay.
They have a new CEO that got in, and it's interesting.
Yes, I heard it's subject to
regulatory approval, of course. But we know that most of the time you're not going to announce someone without you getting some form of assurance. But there's something I'm saying here, right? So if you look around in tech, a lot of the startups you see are headed by really young people. But OPay has gone a different route, at least following Olu's appointment. super experienced guy, more than 20 years of experience in different industries, and then they bring him in, and now they're bringing someone else who was a former I think executive director at the CBN. So this is someone also who comes with a lot of experience, not just any kind of experience, regulatory experience, which is very, very important if you're going to operate in Nigeria, because at the very least you have experience interfacing with regulators. You know what should be done. As someone who sat on this other side, you know what should be done. So I think it's a very interesting appointment that they made, because like I said, nobody knew Olu before. Like in the tech space, we didn't exactly know Olu before he came on. But this is also an interesting appointment, getting someone who has a lot of regulatory experience on your as your CEO. So
is it the same with Pompey, like having
exactly,
like
Pompey has
older
a very
and more
experienced CEO and an older person. So these are the two largest fintechs, and those two largest, or some of the two of the largest fintechs. I mean, there are other large fintechs, so that nobody comes from my head. But they are some of the largest fintechs in the country, and they're hiring super experienced people, and they're also having really good growth, at least from what we can see from outside, right? So, could it be a pattern? Could it be something we should watch out for? Because as companies get more, as they get bigger, you get to that point where you're servicing 25 million people. You may want someone who said is like, he's a lot more experienced. He's not going to move fast and break things and all of that, because you look at the average age of the Nigerian CEO, it's very young. Most people are in their 20s or early 30s. Very few actually. Most of them are in their 20s, right? So I think these are interesting things. And the reason I think this is interesting is, despite what people think, the average age of successful CEOs 40 and above.
Wow.
So it could be something that startups want to consider, or something that we may begin to see more of as startups mature. So
okay, I think for me, I think what will happen is the young guys will create or maybe found, and then as time goes on,
they step aside
for the big guys to steer.
Well, that is cool, because it also signifies that I've gotten to the point where I can't drive these guys to a certain height, and I need someone else to do it. So yes, if you can put your ego aside and do what's best for the business, that's actually a great quality. But I'm actually expecting a lot more of that, really, because some of the most successful startups in Nigeria are they're not headed by 20-year-olds. That's the reality. So there's something to be said for the experience that